What up, y'all? What up? Voice of reason in the building. Yeah, I was about to say this table a little too dry. You got to wet this table up with Lysol.
It was dry.
Been a whole day of talking over this table.
It was.
I don't know where niggas' germs have been.
Why did nothing came out? Like, wait a minute.
Let me tell you right now, this brown stuff coming off this table ain't just lacquer. Shit.
That smells so good.
Yeah.
Will you put it in your pocket?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story. So she's driving me insane, got stress heavy on the brain. She keeps playing silly games, and I'm about to feel the pain.
Oh,
We
it's.
seem to fuss and fight.
That's what it is. You went wild with the Lysol. You went wild.
I got to.
Here are 5 common signs that you might be in a codependent relationship instead of a healthy one. Number 1. No responsibility for personal feelings. While it's inevitable that hurt feelings occur throughout a relationship, how conflicts are resolved can be different across the board depending on how healthy a relationship is. In a healthy relationship, both parties understand and accept that they're responsible for their own feelings and responses to said feelings. Blaming and forcing ultimatums upon the other to change is not a good way to deal with conflicts. You may be in a codependent relationship if either partner requires constant reassurance, validation, or approval from the other. Take it as a sign of codependency if you or your partner are unable to feel self-worth on your own. Number 2. Unbalanced giving at personal expense. Traits like compassion, patience, and generosity are all surefire signs of an amazing romantic partner. However, it's not uncommon for people who have warm and thoughtful characteristics to unknowingly find themselves in codependent relationships. Partners who continue sacrificing their own needs for the needs of their partner tend to be prideful for living up to their ideals of being a compassionate, patient, and generous partner, while at the same time feeling depleted, dissatisfied with the relationship, and taken for granted by their partner. The need to be constantly prioritizing their partner's needs can be mentally and emotionally toxic. If you or your partner fall into habits of pleasing the other at your own expense, find ways to communicate with one another to reach solutions that could benefit both sides. You deserve to receive as much as you're willing to give. Number 3, boundaries are blurred. Do you find it hard to say no to your partner? Or do you feel responsible for their mental and emotional health at the detriment of your own? If your answer to either of these questions is yes, it's possible that you might be in a codependent relationship. It can be hard to define where your boundary lines are drawn when you bind yourself emotionally to another. A healthy relationship calls for strong boundaries, even if that means saying no to the one you love. While a codependent relationship enables both partners into deeper, unhealthy patterns when neither are willing to stand their ground. Though it might be difficult, boundaries have the potential to strengthen a relationship instead of weakening it, as someone with codependency beliefs might assume. Number 4, not thinking for oneself. A healthy relationship often creates a blending effect for the individuals involved. It's normal for partners to begin behaving, thinking, and even looking similarly. Even so, this can be a red flag to look out for when it comes to codependent relationships. Notice if you or your partner begin parroting one another's thoughts or perspectives. While it can seem harmless to agree 100% with everything your partner thinks, this pattern can potentially lead towards an eventual harmful belief that someone else will always know better than you. Or worse, that they know what's best for you as an individual. One way to grow out of this behavior is to consider your partner's thoughts against your personal beliefs and perspectives. Try to stay true to yourself. It will add to your level of independence and self-assurance. Number 5, losing sense of self. Most dangerously of all, a codependent relationship may cause a loss of sense of self. People who fall into codependent relationships often do so without realizing that they're looking for someone to validate their identity. But in their search, they may have sacrificed too much of themselves. To combat this from happening, be sure to prioritize both your needs alongside your partner's and never feel that being in a happy and fulfilling relationship requires you to sacrifice.
Oh, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, it's hump day. And I'm here to help you get over your relationship hump. The Voice of Reason is live on KBLA Talk 1580. I want to welcome everybody in. The chat room is already on fire. You know the rules of this conversation. One work in progress, i.e., myself, will curate this relationship or this conversation to get you to call in and share. It's a conversation, not a monologue. We will not judge you. We will not disrespect your point of view. I want to hear from you. I want to hear your thoughts. I want you to contribute to what we have to talk about tonight. But let me say this before we get started. Man, I was at the post office all day today. I want to thank everybody for all of those book orders. Listen, KBLA listeners, I know you love the show. Numbers don't lie. I know you love it. I know you're listening. And I'm thankful for you tuning in every day. But you gotta get at least one of my 3 books on relationships. All of them, all of the links and how to get them are available at kbla.store. KBLA's own store. I need you guys to go there, kbla.store. KBLA listeners, go do it. Listen, trust me, you will enjoy them. All right? They will start a journey for you. Let's get The Relationship Dismount, How to Stick the Landing When Exiting a Toxic Relationship. That's my 2015 book. And no, it's not a breakup book. However, it is a makeup, wake up, and shake up book. Oh, it's going to take you back to what you've been ignoring for a long time. Then there's my 2019 book, The Holographic Relationship. Woo! Anybody who read that understands where that entanglement concept came from. Now, 2021 gave us The Shrouded Lighthouse. To me, that is the coup de grace, The Shrouded Lighthouse. Go to kbla.store and get a copy for yourself. Open dialogue here. And no one is ever going to frame themselves as perfect. Least of all, me. So many people want a perfect relationship guru. So many people want somebody to have a perfect relationship. It's just, there are no perfect people because we're all whips, WIP, work in progress. No perfect people means no perfect relationship, which equates to relationship is a work in progress. Do you get it? 1-800-920-1580. Today's topic. You heard the setup. Because a lot of people get confused between being devoted and being codependent. The difference between being devoted to your partner and being in an unhealthy codependent relationship. How healthy is your level of attachment? Now, this is an article that was written by Sherry Gaba on Your Tango. Very interesting article, right? Do you know the difference from being devoted and being hopelessly, helplessly addicted, i.e. codependent? 1-800-920-1580. I got questions. Agree or disagree? In a healthy relationship, both people depend on each other. That mutual dependence makes both people in the relationship feel safe, and that sense of security nurtures their resourcefulness and resilience. 1-800-920-1580. How do you show healthy devotion in a relationship? What is a healthy, committed relationship? Are you in one? See, we got this notion that it is better to have been in a relationship and failed, or it is better to have been married and been divorced, right, than to have not been in one. And I'm here to tell you, just because you signed up for the class don't mean you've mastered the curriculum. 1-800-920-1580. Listen, the ritual is easy. All you got to do is put on your little dress, put on your little suit, paint your face, remember your vows. It's a ceremony. Do you understand? It's more than just the ceremony. I need y'all to understand that. All right? Yes or no? Do you agree or disagree? Is this true or false? A relationally codependent person's obsession stems from their frantic need to be in a relationship and a constant fear of not being able to control the relationship. Codependence. A codependent person is trying to make you their dependent. Because if I increase my value to you, if I increase my worth, you'll never leave me. 1-800-920-1580. Are you devoted or codependent? Do you know the difference between the two? Agree or disagree? Making the other person totally dependent on them creates the illusion that they are in control. They obsessively think this person can never leave me because I do everything for them and they'll fall apart, right, if I left. Ooh, codependence is ugly. 1-800-920-1580. Are you in a devoted relationship? What are the signs of a devoted relationship? A healthy, devoted relationship. If you listen to the clip we played, if you listened to the clip we played earlier, this is how you know you're in a toxic relationship. Listen very carefully. Recognize all of the imbalances. If you're loving and they're not, if you're giving and they don't, if you're appreciative and they aren't, do you see? If you're controlling, listen now, because once you start to recognize the imbalances, right, you're going to be able to see, wow, This could be a codependent relationship, especially if you can't break away from it. Huh. Huh. If you're in a healthy, devoted relationship, there is freedom in that relationship. There is interdependence as well as independence within that relationship. Where there is codependence, there is we codepend on each other, we're dependent on each other, and we can't do without each other. We are defined by the relationship. Our sole purpose for existing is the relationship. Huh? Listen, 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone lines. The voice of reason is on fire tonight. Are you in a devoted relationship or a codependent one? Does your partner portray you in a positive light? Does your partner give you space to think and feel as you want to think and feel? How many of you putting on airs for your intimate, for your significant other? How many of you putting on airs? Do you and your partner speak in we language or me language? Me, myself, and I, or us, we, ours. This is how you know you're in a devoted relationship. We speak on we. We speak on us. We speak on ours. But if it's me, and what have you done for me? And your gift isn't expensive as mine. I don't want to get into that. A healthy and devoted relationship uses we language, right? I want to know. I have so many tips and questions when we come forward. You already know. Zoe Williams is opening up the phone lines. I want to talk to you. Are you devoted or codependent? Yeah. Everybody hit the like button. 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 Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Everybody hit the like button. Let me shout out our $20. Good Rinky. Blessings, Katina. You are the first person to super chat tonight. I guess the super chats got slow because my birthday is next Tuesday. I guess they say, we're going to love on Zoe on his birthday. I don't know. But I need y'all to show up like Katina showed up. And I want to hear your perspective. Also, I shipped out all of the packages today. Attila, your book went out today. All the packages from Monday were supposed to go out on Tuesday, but I just had so much to do. So I was able to ship everything out today. Listen, I'm writing personal messages in all of the books. I am signing the books. And people are signing up for their 1 hour of coaching. Attila, we ready? We ready for your 1 hour? Listen, we need 10 books to be sold today. Go to MrZoWhat.com and order The Shrouded Lighthouse. Anybody who orders the book will get 1 hour free coaching session with Zoe, your brother. You will get a 1 hour free coaching session with me. Right? The coaching session is $300. You getting it for free. All you got to do is buy the book. What you do is you go to my website, MrZoWhat.com. You purchase a copy of the book. You take a snapshot of it. You email that to me at VOR106@gmail.com. VOR stands for Voice of Reason. VOR106@gmail.com. Get your book now. Let's get 20 copies sold today. Can we get 20 copies? Can we get 25 copies? I need you guys to go make a rush on this book. Go support it. Go support it. I need the support. Don't leave your brother hanging. I promise you, it's well worth it. All right? My website, KBLA's website, is for KBLA listeners. You guys are with me. Yeah. Sweet like honeydew. Just me and you. And you. I just want to hold you all night and day. Got all the time, girl. Close. Night and day. Just can't get to go. I get lost in your love. I get lost in what you say. Lost in your love. Ladies and gentlemen, are you lost in your partner? Are you lost in love? Chris Brown says he gets lost in your love. Is he merely devoted? Or is he codependent? I want to know. You already know my playlist is my co-host. And I was talking about healthy signs of being devoted, right? We were saying, your partner portrays you in a positive light. Your partner is never disrespectful to you, condescending, or marginalizing you in any way, shape, or form, or minimizing you. And that doesn't mean your partner agrees with every single thing you say, right? Your partner respects you. And this is why I say respect should be the religion of relationship. Because respect, regard, consideration, all of that stuff, and it's hard to maintain that. Let me just say, it sounds beautiful, sounds flowery, sounds like it makes sense, sounds logical, right? Sounds like the right thing to do. However, it's very difficult to maintain respect. And once respect is lost, boundaries are crossed, everything. But these are signs of a healthy relationship, right? Your partner portrays you in a positive light. People in committed relationship tend to portray their partners in the best possible light. They minimize their flaws and they emphasize their positive attributes. This can sometimes make them delusional about their partner's negative qualities. But as long as those things aren't harmful, it keeps people happy in relationship. Now, this is why I added that extra context before I read that. Keeping your partner in a positive light doesn't necessarily mean agreeing with everything they say. It doesn't mean you guys are in a toxic positive space. And you've heard me talk about toxic positivity, which is ignoring the problem in favor of a positive euphemism. Hey, everything gonna be okay. Don't worry about it. No, sometimes we have to have tough conversations. We have to have difficult conversations. Sometimes we have to face things, problems, and situations where both of us come together and work this thing out, problem solving, and it's not always comfortable. But if it's always respectful, then we're good. 2, I said speak in we, not me. And then this other piece is your partner tries to meet your needs, right? And this is, to me, this is bi-directional. Partners must try to meet each other's needs. Now, the reason why this is difficult for many people to do is because many people in relationship are poor communicators and poor listeners. And they listen in a linear way, right? I'm listening because I want to get my turn. So I'm not even really pulling in what you're saying. I'm not actively listening. I'm actively waiting. That's what I'm doing. I'm waiting my turn, really. So to meet someone's needs, you must be able to listen to them actively to the degree of I understand what you're saying, and now I can apply trying to help you get what you say you need. Now, you've always heard me talk about needs are an inside job. So let's just look at it in terms of a cake. The cake is inside. The icing is outside. Do you see? So your partner is the icing for your needs. But the cake, the need cake, must be baked internally. This is something that you got to come to the table with. As a matter of fact, your partner is the cherry on top. Here you go, bing. That's what your partner represents. Far too often, we get folk who want their partner to be the cake, and then they want to be the icing. No. The other way around. It's the other way around. When I come forward, oh, this time is just moving. I feel like I'm just getting started and the time is just moving. Are you devoted or codependent is what we're talking about tonight. And we are breaking down the differences between the two. When we come forward, the phone lines will begin to crack. Miss JB! Long time no see, Miss JB. We appreciate you coming back. You and Katina are on the board, on the super chat board. Listen, Miss JB, you might have just got in here. I thank you so much for your super chat. Thank you. But I don't know if you've been around. I don't know if you've heard. I am doing a special on the Shrouded Lighthouse. My Shrouded Lighthouse book.
There are now different versions of what Prince Harry and Meghan Markle say was a near catastrophic car chase for 2 hours with paparazzi in New York City.
I am doing a special on my book, The Shrouded Lighthouse. The Shrouded Lighthouse. If anybody gets The Shrouded Lighthouse, I see we got one book sale. We're trying to go for 25 today. Anybody buys The Shrouded Lighthouse today will get a free 1-hour coaching session from me. A free 1-hour coaching session from me. And, you just go to my website, MrZowhat.com. Go to my website, order The Shrouded Lighthouse, and then, after you do that, snapshot your digital receipt and email it to me at VOR106@gmail.com. VOR106@gmail.com. I will email you back and say, hey, let's go. I'm free on the weekends, Friday through Sunday. From 10 a.m. on, well, not on, there's a certain part where I cut off, I'll be burnt out, but all you gotta do is email me your receipt, we schedule a time, and you get your free 1-hour coaching session on whatever you want it to be on. So, Can we get 25 copies sold? Can I get 25 copies sold? Yes, it's going to be dope. It's going to be dope. And people have been getting their coach. Hey, I see you, Jim Bryant. People are starting to buy their books. Let's go. Let's get your books. Thank you.
The pandemic may be over, but many Angelinos could be at risk of
It's cold. Can I turn that off?
It's cold. Hell. Huh? You can turn it off if you cold. It's cold up in here. Hell. You know why it's cold? Because you ate a whole cup of ice. That's what happened.
They must have just, no, they ain't clean it. They didn't clean it, never mind.
Get your book now. Shrouded Lighthouse is coming with a free coaching session. And of course, I'm going to autograph your book and leave you a personal message. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that tea is spirit. I'm working on it now. Let's get it. Let's get these books. I want to hit 25 copies. Can we do it? I think we can. I think we can. And I'll tell you this. Buy the book. We don't have to worry about super chatting. Just buy the book. Lou Kane, book receipt. Thank you. Buy the book. Support the book, The Shrouded Lighthouse. Oh, speaking of that, let me go back. I think I told you guys this yesterday. I was able to give the remaining balance to my copy editor for the proposal of my new book. And when I tell you the new book, I'm so excited about the new book. To me, I don't get excited for shit. I'm a very muted kind of person. But the new book, I'm dummy excited about the new book. Because the new book, the concept is so different from anything I've ever done. And like I said, man, I just pray and thank God or whatever you want, the higher source. I can't write unless I have an amazing idea. The idea for this book is unlike anything I've ever written. It's going to take what the other books have done and set that shit on its ear. It's not going to invalidate it, but it's going to set it on it. You're going to be like, so what the fuck did you do to us?
Lord.
Watch. Yo, the new book is dumb.
And there was a twist. Right when you thought
I mean, dumb as in smart.
My little Bangladesh.
So, how can you tell if you're codependent? This video looks at 8 signs to watch out for. 1. Constant reassurance seeking. Do you find yourself constantly asking for people's reassurances? Asking them to tell you they love you a lot, or asking if they're mad at you constantly? This kind of constant reassurance seeking can be a sign of codependency. You may seek reassurance due to low self-worth, and feeling like your partner is always just about to break the relationship, as you often don't feel bring anything to a relationship. 2. Feeling responsible for problem solving. Do you find yourself feeling it's your duty to solve all of your partner's problems? Not just that you want to help them, but that you need to help them when they might leave? This is another common sign of codependency. It can be particularly damaging, as it isn't possible for us to fix everything for someone all the time. And if your self-worth is tied up in this idea, it can set you up for a big fail. 3. You can't say no. Do you struggle to say no to your partner, regardless of what they want? Do you worry if you refuse to do something, they'll leave you? This is another classic sign of codependency. People with codependency issues can feel insecure in their relationships and feel like they're very fragile. Therefore, if you have codependency issues, you may feel something like simply saying no to your partner will be enough to ruin the relationship, and that they'll leave you. This can be damaging, as it's not good for us to ignore our own boundaries for others. 4. You need to avoid conflict.
Woo! I played that clip on purpose. Right after BB and CC whining. I'm lost without you. Yes, we know it's a Christian song. We know they're singing to Jesus. But many people can attribute those descriptors to their relationship with God. They're in a codependent relationship with God. Ooh. Can you be in a codependent relationship with God? Can you have a toxic relationship with God? I would say yes. I would say yes. Don't you know, it's not just being in a codependent relationship with your significant other. They are the reflection. If you can be in a codependent relationship with the toxicity within your own spirit, if you can be in a codependent relationship with your shadow, you can be in a codependent relationship with God. Ooh. See, when God don't show up for you in the way that you want him to, or it to, or whatever it is, when God don't show up, how many of you doubt? God, I know y'all don't want to hear this tonight. I know you don't want to hear it, but yes, if you're in a codependent relationship with self, you could definitely be in a codependent relationship with God. And it could feel toxic. You could feel like God is absent or God is indifferent. And many people struggle with that. While at the same time, well, if I go to church today, maybe God will see that I'm trying. Don't we do that in relationship? Well, if I change myself in this way, maybe God will acknowledge that change. If we do it with God, what makes you think we don't do it with the people that are standing right in front of us? 1-800-920-1580. I'm asking you, what does it mean to be in a codependent relationship? What is the difference between a devoted relationship, because many of us are devoted to God? Are we devoted, or are we codependent? 1-800-920-1580. I know you're scared to talk to me tonight. I know. Because every night I'm going to come in here and I'm going to try to knock your spirit out your soul. I'm like Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, and Tiger Woods wrapped into one. I'm competitive. LeBron, no. Don't mention LeBron in the name. Don't ever do that. Don't ever disrespect competitors by mentioning LeBron. Don't ever do it on this show. I'm just saying, I'm wrapped into one here, right? See, if you heal your relationship with God, you can heal your relationship. You can heal your relationship with your significant other. But God and spirituality is intangible. They are intangible. Unless we see results from God, the results we want, right? If we don't get those results, this is where the doubt creeps in, right? Same thing happens in intimate relationships. We're result hunters, outcome hunters. And I'm going to tell you right now, codependency, like everything else, comes from somewhere. Comes from that childhood, comes from that attachment style, comes from what you modeled. So you might have modeled people pleasing. You might have modeled lack of boundaries. You might have modeled low self-esteem, poor self-esteem. You might have modeled excessive caretaking. Well, it's not caretaking unless you're taking care of yourself. See, everything is balanced. Huh? I'm just saying, you might have modeled emotional reactivity. You might have modeled poor communication. All of this is coming into the relationship and laying the groundwork and the foundational space for codependence, not devotion. You may have modeled lack of self-image. You may have modeled dependency. You may have modeled relationship stress. Seeing your significant other stressing, or seeing your primary caregiver stressing, may have said, this is how we resolve conflict. We have to be stressed. Ooh, Lord. Lack of resiliency. All of this, so many things are coming to me right now. But the phone lines are cracking. I need to get Sean in here. Sean, let me get you in here for 1 second, but I need you to know. Do you want to wait? Because I got to carry you over anyway. Do you want to wait so you can have space to just lay it out?
Zoda, I would talk to you all night if you allowed me to. So, yeah, there's no problem there.
I got you, brother. Stay with me. Sean from Reno, Nevada. When we come forward, he's going to share his wisdom, and I can't wait.
Is it good to you?
That codependence on God piece. Ugh. 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 Yeah, that shit was crazy. I like that. Let's go. Let's get these book sales. Who wants The Shrouded Lighthouse? Get your copy right now. All you got to do is go to my website, Mr. Zoe What. Go to my website right now, Mr. Zoe What. Go to the website. Yes, I got you. Go to my website. Get it now. Order your copy of The Shrouded Lighthouse and get a free 1-hour coaching session. We're trying to get 25 copies sold. Let me see what we got so far. So far, we got 2 copies. So far, we have 2 copies sold. We're 23 away. Can we do it? I got you, Miss JB. All you got, once you buy it, screenshot your digital receipt. Then email me and say, where's my coaching session? VOR106@gmail.com. Yep. Shane Artis. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host. You never know what I'm going to play. This is Ray Charles. My big mama loved Ray Charles. Emma Sue loved Ray Charles. Ray Charles was he was the Chris Brown of her day. That's, you understand? Codependence, his record, I Can't Stop Loving You by Ray Charles. I can't stop. Love is not supposed, listen, love and suffering are polar opposites. I know y'all don't want to hear that. Love and suffering are polar opposites. Love is the reward from having suffered and gotten over it and gotten through it. I know y'all don't want to hear that. I listen. Love is on the other end of your societal, familial, religious, educational conditioning. Love is on the other side of that. What you have within that, mainly toxic attraction, toxic attachment. Ooh, 1-800-920-1580. Sean, get in here.
Well, number one, you said it in the last segment, which could be more true about anything, which was balance is the key. Balance is the key, people. And you are in any relationship, balance is the key. If you really want to keep a serious relationship, balance is the key. And when we're talking about icing on the cake, okay, icing on the cake, the way I see it is I see the cake as the development of the relationship. You're talking serious relationship here. I'm talking serious relationship. Something you want to continue on with. Okay, the cake is serious building of a foundation. All right? The icing can't happen before that cake is cooked. And I'm telling you, the cake needs to be cooked by lots of work, lots of suffering, lots of crisis, lots of working together, teamwork makes the dream work, all those cliches, but it's true. You've got to pick that person that you know, no matter what happens, they're going to be right next to you, shoulder by shoulder, to work through the tough stuff. But if you don't pick the right person that can work with you in that tough stuff, it's not going to be solid, and balance won't be the key. And because, believe me, never give up on a relationship you want to make work, because you can achieve that balance or keep working towards it. But the icing on the cake, that should be way at the very end of a relationship.
Ooh, come on. I see you, brother. I see you. Sean from Reno, Nevada. He's brought his city in the building with nothing but fire. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us at 1-800-920-1580. I love it. I love it. I love it when Sean comes through. He says something very profound, man. Wow. Can I give you guys something? Can I offer something to you? See, the real work that Sean was talking about is self-work. And that self-work is primarily your responsibility. But this is how you know you got somebody who truly accepts you and loves you through your progress, right? We're all works in progress. We're all whips, right? Nobody is perfect. Nobody is, exempt from going through difficulty in life and or in relationship. So let's get the perfect person, the perfect preacher, the perfect politician, the perfect lawyer, the perfect parent, the perfect lover. Let's get all of that out the way. But Sean is talking about some real work that has to happen on the inside, right? Do you know what a really great partner is in those moments? They're like a relationship nurse. And what makes a good nurse is their bedside manner. You need a relationship bedside manner. I can't fix your problem for you, but I will be here with you as you discover ways to conquer it. You're never going to feel, right, that I'm not here in support of you. So the relationship bedside manner, especially for those who are truly devoted to you, invested in your highest good, relationship bedside manner, meaning I'm going to respect your process. Woo! If you want space from me during this time, I'm going to respect your process. That's part of my relationship bedside manner. No, if you need me close, I'm going to be close. That's part of the relationship bedside manner when your partner is going through something. If you need advice, I'm going to wait until you ask me. I'm not just going to give it to you and offer it and bombard you with it. I'm going to ask you, is there anything I can do? Is there anything I can help with? If not, I'm going to stay silent until you come to me and say, hey, I've been going through something. I need to talk to you about it. You have to raise your level of relational bedside manner, but that's difficult because you're a work in progress. And you think being considerate doesn't encompass waiting to be called on. Ooh. Relationship bedside manner is big. I love that what Sean said. Man, there's work, and that's my next show tomorrow. Holding space. We're going to talk about the relationship bedside manner, which is holding space. That's tomorrow's topic. Listen, the reason why I do the topics the way I do the topics is because, like I said, I'm trying to combat a goofy, lowbrow, spiritually unevolved narrative that says, well, we've been through all of this, we might as well keep going. Or that says, women ain't ish, men ain't ish. There's just this negative narrative about relating. And that's because most people don't have a toolbox full of ideas that can help you manage relational conflict. There's no way to manage relational conflict until you understand. Let me just be real. Until you understand where you came from. And once you understand where you came from, you're going to understand what you came with. Ooh. Somebody meme it. Once you understand where you came from, you will have a better idea of what you've come with. People say, "What'd you bring to the table?" All that mess all that mess you patterned and modeled from your nasty spirit, your spiritual and nasty crib. Your house could have been immaculate, but your soul was filthy when you came into this relationship. This is what creates the groundwork for codependence in relationship. I want to be devoted. What does it mean to be devout? Do you know? Do you know? Do you have an idea of what it means to be devout? Listen, when I come forward, I'm going to tell you a little bit about devotion and why you should have it in your relationship. You have to make a distinction between devotion, devoted, and codependence. I'm telling you right now, recognize the imbalance and then start working on balancing it out first within yourself. Your partner might just fall off. Once you start healing and they didn't start their process, or they might be reluctant to, they might just organically fall off. That's one of the most organic breakups you can ever have. You growing up. When I come forward, the voice of reason shall continue this sermon. We on fire tonight. Let's keep those books coming. Let me see what we got. I think we got one more. Stay logged in. Let's see. Let's see. Jim Bryant. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. We got 4 book sales. We only need 21 more. Listen. Let me just ask the question. Let me ask a serious question. Do I sound like a fool? Do I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about? Do I sound like someone you shouldn't listen to? Do I sound crazy? The concepts and the ideas that are flowing through this broadcast tonight. Do I sound like I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about? Listen, imagine what's in the book. 99% of what I'm talking about is coming organically. Relational bedside manner. Already had the holding space topic, but now it's called relational bedside manner. That's flowing organically. Imagine what's concentrated in the book. Order your book now. Go to MrZoWhat.com. We need 21 copies of the book. We need 21 more copies. Can we get it? Tonight. 21 copies. I have the power of grace. Oh, I'm sorry. Me, myself, and I, or it's how you know you're in a devoted relationship. We speak on we. We speak on us. We speak on ours. But if it's me, y'all want to know what Monday's topic is? Y'all want to know what Monday's topic is? Y'all want to know what we gonna do Monday? Y'all ready for Monday? I got some shit for Monday. Y'all ready? I'm still doing the show. Oh no, that I can't do the show Monday. I can't. I got a whole sit. No. Yeah, I'm good. The premiere is Saturday. Y'all got me tripping.
And birthday's Tuesday.
Intimate Suspicion Monday. Ooh.
Today's question is, what is codependency? If you find this video to be interesting or helpful, please like it and subscribe to my channel. That way you won't miss anything new. Now, when we talk about the term codependency or codependence, we oftentimes think of the word dependent, and sometimes the term codependency becomes confused with dependency, and specifically dependent personality disorder. So before I move to codependence, let's just start with the word dependent. In relationships, it's not unusual for one person to be somewhat dependent on the other. And a lot of times, this goes both ways. It's reciprocal. Relying on others is not inherently maladaptive or distressing or even really that unusual. Dependency runs on a continuum from what we see in everyday life, which would be considered productive and relatively normal, all the way to dependent personality disorder, which is an extreme manifestation of dependency. It's one that is maladaptive, rigid, and has inflexible thinking, and certainly would be distressing in most instances. Codependency is really a version of dependency, but it doesn't have anything to do with dependent personality disorder. In theory, if there was an extreme manifestation of codependence, it could be categorized as dependent personality disorder if it met the full criteria for that disorder. But the two constructs overall don't necessarily have a strong relationship. So let's take a look at the definition of codependence. So codependence actually has a few different meanings, and one is much more common than the other. The less common meaning would be any relationship where the level of dependence exceeds what is healthy. It becomes maladaptive. So really, under this definition, codependence isn't much different than dependence. The more common definition for codependence is in a relationship where one person has a substance use disorder
or some sort of set of extreme personality traits, like what we might see in a personality disorder, or sometimes other mental disorders. And the codependent part of that is really with the individual who is the caregiver to that person with the disorder. I'm going to use the example here of a substance use disorder because usually it's a substance use disorder that we're talking about when we talk about codependence. So under this definition, you would really only have two people, a caregiver and an individual with substance use disorder. Both would be codependent, but usually we think of the caregiver as the person who is struggling with codependence and not so much the individual with substance use disorder. So this type of codependence is often referred to as enabling. Enabling is when an individual who is caring for somebody with substance use disorder does things to protect that individual, to help them to avoid the consequences of using substances. So really codependence is experienced quite differently between the caregiver and the individual with substance use disorder. Two totally different perspectives, two totally different ways of being codependent. So really we could define codependence as an unhealthy type of dependence that involves a caregiver and an individual with substance use disorder. The term codependence itself can be confusing because it seems like it means something quite different than dependence, and in fact it doesn't really. Now codependence by itself is not a mental health disorder. It's not in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, the DSM. We see a lot of features with codependent behavior that line up with a number of diagnostic criteria across a number of mental disorders. But in and of itself, codependence is not a disorder. As I mentioned, it does have a number of features, including increased levels of anxiety and depression, decreased levels of trust. Individuals who are codependent have difficulty trusting other people. They also have difficulty being assertive. They demonstrate a need for control. They have boundary problems, and this one's pretty easy to understand in the context of the caregiver and the individual with substance use disorder. They also tend to have a lot of frustration, anger, a need for approval, a number of concerns about abandonment. Oftentimes when we hear the word abandonment in the mental health treatment community, we think of borderline personality disorder. But again, codependence is not a mental disorder, and it's certainly not borderline personality disorder. Those are two different constructs. They share to some degree this fear of abandonment and efforts to avoid abandonment, but they're not the same thing. Oftentimes individuals who are codependent are abused.
Ooh, what you been through gonna come out. Lord have mercy. My playlist is my co-host. The Voice of Reason is back in the building here in Lamert Park, man, on KBLA Talk 1580. We're talking about the difference between being devoted to your partner and being codependent on it. This is heavy stuff tonight. And listen, I played that Eminem record, Lose Yourself. And I'm going to flip it again. Because he's talking about losing yourself in your purpose. But before you can lose yourself in devotion to your purpose, you must discover yourself. What you are, what you want to do. Can I tell you something? As it pertains to intimate relations, if you haven't found, embraced, and cultivated your true self, an intimate relationship could possibly cause you to lose your ability to discover it again. See, you can get lost in a relationship. That's codependency. You can get lost in the idea. You can get lost in the purpose of the relationship. Oh, I'm no good if I'm not in a relationship. Listen now, if you haven't found, embraced, and cultivated your true self, an intimate relationship could possibly cause you to lose your ability to discover it again. See, relationship shows you what you need to work on, right? But if you keep avoiding it, you keep pushing it down, you keep blaming others as if it's not your fault, again, you're laying down the foundation for codependence. Listen to all of the examples the clip just laid out: anxiety, frustration, upset, constant disappointment, lack of boundaries. You understand? Constant pleasing, people pleasing. Listen, all of these things are part of relationship. Let me just say. Because what happens is we start to blur the lines. But there, again, I'm going to come back to that point. There must be balance. Yes, I'm going to give, and I'm going to show you love, and I'm going to appreciate you. But there are going to be times where I don't want to do that. And it should be okay. I should have the space to say, today's not the day for me to be that. Right? This might be a day where I want to be alone and have my own time and my own thoughts. And although I love you to the moon and back, today is leave me alone day. Everybody should have leave me alone day in the relationship. Or I don't want to talk day. Can we talk tomorrow? Or how about this? Can we talk when I feel like talking? Why is that such a bad thing? I may need 3 days. Just because I need 3 days doesn't mean we not good. Maybe I need 3 days. Maybe I need a week. Do you understand? I'm just trying to tell you. The way we behave in relationship is molded around the toxicity of how we were raised. So the constant thirsting and where are you going and trying to control and manipulation, and do you understand what I'm saying? And projecting and trying to be something we're not. All of this is part of relationship survival in a toxic environment. I'm going to say it again. If you haven't found, embraced, and cultivated your true self, an intimate relationship could possibly cause you to lose your ability to discover yourself again. Oh, man. Do we want healthy relationships? Yes or no? Yes or no? Codependents lose themselves in the life of the other person. They attach their core being to their codependent relationship. They depend on getting approval from their partner for their very identity. They derive their sense of purpose from making sacrifices to fulfill the needs of others. Just because we've been together for 10 years don't mean we healthy. You remember Big Mama and Pawpaw slept in 2 different rooms. They stopped sleeping together a long time ago. Pawpaw sleep down the hall. He got his own room down the hall. Don't go in there and move nothing because he gonna know somebody been in there. Listen, do you understand? Yes or no? One partner is unhealthily obsessed with the needs of the other to the point where they ignore their own needs. Codependents look outside their true and authentic self to find happiness and fulfillment. They don't believe it can come from within themselves. Back to my quote. This is my quote here. If you haven't found, embraced, and cultivated your true self, an intimate relationship could possibly cause you to lose your ability to discover your true self again. Play Eminem one more time. Can we get Eminem back in here? Okay, turn it off. Do you see the passion? He has to be the music in order to write that. He has to be one with it. He has to know that that is his purpose. But if you don't feel that way about you, you're going to lose your ability to discover that in yourself. Laying the foundation for codependence. Brother, your wallet is not, listen, your wallet ain't enough. See, men feel like if I produce, if I surround myself with resources, I got options and I got control. Listen, relationship still reveals you, brother. Listen, she'll take your money and cheat on you. You've attracted what you are, brother. If all you are is the currency in your wallet, if you haven't developed an internal currency, she gonna spend the money in your wallet. You're gonna attract that type. Sister, same with you. Do you understand? I know, listen, I know y'all don't want to hear it this way, but that's what it is. Krishnamurti said it like this. What is our relationship based on? Is it knowledge? Is it based on experience? Is it on forms of intellectual, emotional, sentimental conclusions? Please, as we are saying, observe, if you do not mind, your own actual relationship with another. Actual, not what you think it ought to be. Not an ideal relationship, but factually, daily, everyday relationships. Because this is what we live in. And if we are to understand that, then we have to go much further. When I come forward, I'm going to give you more of what Krishnamurti is saying about this. We're going to talk about this now. Theo, why am I killing you? What did I do? Hey, thank you. Suge Mac 10. Everybody that gets a book gets free coaching today. Everybody that gets a book gets free coaching. 1 hour coaching. If you buy my book, hey, Theo, you should get that book. You're going to get 1 hour. My coaching is $300 an hour. It's a $350 deal. All you got to do is pay for the book, and you're going to get an hour coaching session with me. Go to my website, mrzowhat.com. Order your book right now. We need 21 copies. We need 21 copies to reach our goal of 25 tonight. All right? Email me your digital receipt, VOR106@gmail.com, and put in the caption, where's my coaching session? Let's see, where are we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 5 book orders today. We got 5, so we only need 20 more. You're always on topic about where I am in relationships, even when I identify initially I have a problem making a decision on. Call me right now. Let's talk. Call me right now, bruh. Let's work it out. Buy the book, buy the book, buy the book, get the book, buy the book. Come on, Stony Boy Entertainment. You just bought the book. We're at 6 copies. We need 19 copies. Buy the book, buy the book, buy the book. MrZowhat.com. Moderators, put it in there. MrZowhat.com. See, listen, man, I know there's a lot of people out there that made y'all feel good about being men. But I'm not here to make you feel good about being a man. I'm here to let you know that you're more than a man, brother. You're more than a man. You're a man physically, but you're more than your physical body. You're more than a man, brother. And I'm telling you, when you start cultivating that otherworldly quality, you're not going to be on no codependence. You're not going to be defined by what's in your wallet. You're going to be defined by your present, man. Was Whitney Houston in a codependent relationship?
Oh, yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason is on fire tonight. My playlist is my co-host, the incomparable, the one and only voice. In my opinion, the greatest woman singer of all time. Some people try to say Mariah Carey. I'd be like, if you don't knock it off. The closest to her is Aretha Franklin. Aretha Franklin. Whitney, then Aretha. Somebody said Bobby was her codependent. Really could be. I'm talking about the record. Was the record a look into the future? I'm just saying. But I was on something. It was Krishnamurti. He said, what is our relationship based on? Is it based on knowledge? Is it based on experience? Is it based on various forms of intellectual, emotional, sentimental conclusions? Please, as we are saying, observe, if you do not mind your own actual relationship with another. He's asking you to observe your relationship that you're in with someone right now, the actual thing, right? And he says, not your idea about the relationship, not what you think it ought to be. Not an ideal relationship, but factually and daily, everyday relationship. Can you observe it? He said, because that is what we live with. And if we understand that, then we can go much further. But without deeply delving into that, merely to imagine or a fanciful relationship has no meaning, because we are dealing with facts and not with ideational abstractions, because that will lead us nowhere. So what is our relationship actually? Gosh, he said relationship. The meaning of that word means, does it not respond? He said the word relationship means to respond completely to another. Ooh, I know y'all not ready for tonight. See, listen, hey, to respond completely to another, the meaning of the word, not what we have made of that word. The root meaning of the word relationship is to respond, like responsibility. And do we ever respond totally to each other, with each other? Do we ever respond? Do you see how the seeds of codependence, how the seeds of dysfunction, how the seeds of dissatisfaction can creep in, right? Most of our relationships are predicated on feeding our fears, feeding our ego, feeding our insecurities, feeding our anxiety, which is why we show up partially. That's what he's saying. Oh, let me let him say it. I'm sorry. The meaning of the word, not what we have made of that word. The root meaning of the word relationship is to respond, like responsibility. And do we ever respond totally with each other? Or is it always a fragmentary response, a partial response? You're dating a shard, a broken shard. That's what you're dating. And you yourself are a shard, a sham shard. Not only do you cut yourself, you cut your partner. I know. I know people don't want to hear it tonight. You don't want to hear it like this, but this is why codependent relationships exist. All right, let's get to the phone lines. People have been calling. I'm sorry. I've just been on fire all night. Who's been on the longest? Let's do it right now. Tracy from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Get in here.
Hey, Bill, how are you?
I'm alive and well. I'm in here arguing with myself.
No, you telling the truth.
Okay. Talk to me.
But and I heard what you said about how men can bring the wallet out, right? And they think that that's all they need to do. No, because don't you think once they do that, it kind of converts into a situationship?
Sure. Yeah, sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what I've learned personally from being in a codependent relationship, I was married to a man who thought all he needed to do was bring home the paycheck.
Not a carrier.
Okay, wait, Tracy. Wait, Tracy. Hold tight, because I know you cooking right now. I'm going to carry you over. But when we come forward, I'm going to come back to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, so Tracy can get it out without interruption.
President Biden is heading to Japan as negotiations over raising the debt ceiling are being held in Washington. National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said Biden will attend the G7 summit to talk with leaders about the war in Ukraine, clean energy, and artificial intelligence. There are now different versions of what Prince Harry and Meghan Markle say was a near catastrophic car chase for 2 hours with paparazzi in New York City. Adam says that's hard to do, David. So, chase should not.
It's in the studio. Funny.
I see you, bro. I got you. Come on, y'all, get those books in. Let's get those books. Let's see where we are. Order your book right now. If you order your book right now, trust me, you're going to get I'm going to set up a session with you. Order your book right now. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We got 6. We need 19 copies. There's more than enough of us in here. Can we get that book? Anybody who purchases a book gets a free hour-long session, coaching session with your brother Zoe Williams. Do it right now. If you email me after you get it, after you buy the book, email me your digital receipt to vor106@gmail.com. Order your book at mrzowhat.com. Get The Shrouded Lighthouse right now and reserve your 1 hour coaching session. Let's go. We need 19 copies. Can we get 19 copies? There's 60 people in here. Order the book now.
Calling all small business owners, entrepreneurs, and startups. Vermont's Loss of Development Corporation is your one-stop shop for the resources and tools you need to take your business to the next level.
This shit lit tonight.
DC is a community-based nonprofit.
I don't normally say that during the show.
Yeah, this shit lit tonight.
Nazarene X said, this ish is mad deep.
How many books left we still need to sell? I bought my copies. I been bought my copies.
19. We need 19 copies.
Only 19. Good job, y'all. Y'all doing amazing.
Jay Kofa, I just copped 3 books.
Oh,
Man.
I love you.
Jay Kofa, send me, hey, make sure you send me your email, bro. Or make sure you send me your digital receipt so we can schedule a coaching session. Please, please, please. I can't wait to read my copy. Suge, Mac, 510, always supporting. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Which book, the new book you're writing or the old book? I'm talking about Get the Shrouded Lighthouse. The Shrouded Lighthouse is my latest book. Get the book. Dream Luxury missed that Chris Brown record we played.
We only get about one every blue moon. It's that blue moon with the orange peel. Oh, no.
That's the key. Change yourself, change your situation, shift. Well, what book don't you have? Do you have the holographic relationship? Because those are the 2 books that are available on my website, The Shrouded Lighthouse and The Situation Shift. We play Lost in Your Love. It fits the topic, codependence. First song of the night. Well, get the holographic relationship. I'll do this for you. But we're trying to push the Shrouded Lighthouse, but I'll do this for you. Thank you, fam. Thank you, Suge, Mac 510. Appreciate you, bro. Oh my God. Now you quoting lyrics? What in the Sam hell? This is a book drive. Let's get the books. We're 19 copies away from our goal. Can we hit it? We're going to go over 60 people in here. Get that book. Order your book.
In any healthy relationship, whether it's with a friend or a partner, you should be able to depend on the other person. Hopefully, you can count on them to keep their promises or listen to you vent if you've had a tough day. But sometimes people can become too dependent on each other. One person can start relying on another for all of their emotional health and even identity, and that's where codependency comes in. It's a word thrown around a lot in pop psychology, and it doesn't have a clinical definition. But when it comes to relationships, it's not healthy, even if Hollywood might romanticize it. The term codependency was first used in the 1980s, mostly by organizations like Alcoholics Anonymous and addiction counselors. It was supposedly a condition that comes from being close with someone who struggles with alcohol addiction. The idea is that a codependent person ends up supporting their loved ones so that they never hit rock bottom. Basically, when they finally realize they have a problem and change their lives. And in doing so, the codependent person supposedly enabled the addiction instead of helping. But there's no research supporting this idea, and abandoning someone who's struggling usually causes more harm. In fact, many things that were labeled codependent, like providing treatment or safer ways to gradually fight an addiction, are often really helpful. These days, psychologists and counselors mainly use codependency to refer to a set of observed emotional behaviors and attachments. And to separate it from the old false ideas about addiction, they'll sometimes call it relationship dependency, emotional dependency, or even obsessive love. In a codependent relationship, one person is dependent on the other, their romantic partner or best friend. Some psychologists think codependency might be influenced by things like personality or a traumatic event in someone's childhood, like if they have a broken relationship with a caregiver. But it's also not something you can be clinically diagnosed with. Emotional dependency can be measured with surveys like the Love Attitude Scale, which was developed by psychologists in the late 1990s to help determine someone's feelings about relationships. The survey asks people to think about their partner or hypothetical partner, and then has them agree or disagree with statements like, if my partner ignores me for a while, I sometimes do stupid things to get their attention back. If they score within a certain range, their behavior is most likely codependent. Now, codependency, or emotional dependency, is different than something called dependent personality disorder, or DPD. This is in the DSM-5, the most recent version of the manual that clinical psychologists use to diagnose different conditions. People with DPD often feel totally powerless and like they aren't capable of caring for themselves. Meanwhile, someone who's codependent may think they can function independently just fine. But if they aren't in a close relationship, they might feel lonely and emotionally unsatisfied. And if a close relationship ends, they'll often feel stronger grief and have a higher risk of depression than the average person. Not only that,
This thing is an onion. It's got layers. Oh my God, it's got layers. Don't you want to be devoted as opposed to being dependent? Yikes. Man, let's get Tracy from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania back in here. Talk to us, Tracy. Which one are you?
Like I was saying, he felt that if he brought home the money and I took care of everything, that it was okay. Like, he did his job. And he depended on me for everything. I mean, all the way down to the registration renewal of a car. I mean, the way I grew up, my father was the head of the household. He had his role, my mother had a role. And it was different for me with this man because I couldn't understand why he couldn't do the most basic things. The things that my father took care of, he could not do. And eventually, I was no longer attracted to him. Even mentally, I was no longer attracted to him because it made me question his ability to do the most basic things. The most things that were, like, considered common sense.
Considered common sense and context with your experience.
With my experience growing up, exactly.
So you have to, and I just want to offer this. This might not be it for you, but because you grew up a certain kind of way, could you have been looking at him through a lens that was incompatible with his own experience?
Most definitely. But when we first got together, I thought we were a mirror based on the type of family home life that he has as a child. We talked about it. But when we talked more in depth about it, I found out that his father was the same way with his mother.
And what do you think the lesson for you was? in attracting this type of person?
That I could not go off of the experiences that I had as a child. It did not make him somebody that was for me, even though I thought, because I think sometimes for Black people, we envision Black love to be what we see growing up with our parents and aunties and uncles and stuff. And, you know, I've always thought that Black love was struggle and that you be there and you take up the slack with the man.
So
because he's been through so much. The Black man has been through so much.
can I ask you? Can I ask you another question?
Yeah.
Were you judgmental of him based off of your experience?
I think I was, but also I think I put my expectations too high.
But no. Let's before we even get to expectations, let's go back to the judgmental piece. Because that's part of attracting him, right? Is to reveal that aspect of yourself to yourself.
Right.
And so what did you do once you realized, wow, I judged him based on an experience and a standard that I modeled, that I was groomed in. He may not have been modeled or groomed that way. So maybe my expectation for him was incompatible for him, for his experience. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I tried to have a conversation with him about it, and it always reverted back where he would just say, you know, bring home the bacon and the woman cooks it, and, you know, but I wanted more. I wanted him to be the head of the household. I wanted him to stand up and be a man. But the more and more I brought that to his attention, it just went to the wayside. I mean, it literally was a position that I had to take where I had to be everything for him.
So what was your final straw? What made you walk away? Did you walk away or did he walk away?
I walked away.
So what was the final straw for you?
The final straw for me was I could not take the codependency anymore. I could not take the fact that I was the center of his happiness, the center of everything for him. I needed him to be an individual within a relationship.
Like got the phone call.
If it wasn't built around me, then it didn't exist for him.
That's crazy.
And I knew that if I didn't walk away, I was not doing a service for myself as a human being, as someone who had her own individuality.
Now watch this. Tracy, watch this. Do you see how much you got out of that relationship? That relationship grew you up.
Yes, it did.
It made you assertive enough to say, okay, enough's enough. And you got out. It made you recognize that in some ways you were a bit judgmental. Do you see how many things were revealed to you about you from this relationship?
Oh, most definitely.
It's beautiful stuff. Tracy, I love you for calling in. Thank you so much. You brought Harrisburg in the building. You know you can call in anytime. You got a seat at the table. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1581. I come forward. I'm going to Charleston, South Carolina to talk to the homeboy Theo. Break up the calls. What calls? Phone lines is butter now. I'm chewing this ice. Chewing this ice like one of those gorillas. Have you seen those gorillas eat vegetables? Motherfuckers be like... They be fucking them vegetables up, boy, I tell you. Blue or green? People be asking me my favorite color. You got to ask me my favorite color on social media? The fuck? Hey, 10 minutes left on the call on the show. Are we gonna get somebody? Can we get 3 more book sales? Can we get 3 in the next 10 minutes? Can we get 3 book sales in the next 10 minutes? Can we get that? Please? 3 people. Buy a book. You're gonna get a free hour of coaching. Can you guys explain the rules for the book? You get a free hour of coaching with me, which is a $300 value. We just need 3 people to get the book right now. Take a chance on yourself. Take a chance, all right? I need 3 people to purchase the book. Take a chance. Go on, honey. Take a chance. I respect how you do things, big bro. Stay neutral, because that last call was supposed to get cooked. How you gonna want your man to be? No. You don't cook them. That's not how it goes. It's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. I promise you, brother, that's not how it goes. People grow up through self-observation. They don't grow up through self-criticism or external criticism. External criticism causes people to shut down. They grow up through self-observation, non-judgmental self-observation. External judgmental criticism typically causes people to shut down. Show them how to see. Ladies and gentlemen, the voice of reason returns. I'm back in the building. We've come full circle. Let's get these phone calls in here. My brother Theo from Charleston, South Carolina. You got to get in here, brother. Let's make it work. Let's make it work. Let's make it work.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow you through the comments now. Like you say, to be patient and let a person get to that level. Even when you assert that type of behavior as far as being patient, I read the books you described, right? And I try to assert that type of information over to the person. Now, I'm not the best. I can be honest. I'm not the best at always being patient with communicating with the person that I'm with, right? But I observe as much as I can from my partner to recognize in myself, damn, I'm getting a mirror here. There's a mirror that's reflecting me, and I'm recognizing even in the moment, I'm supposed to be learning something out of this situation.
Wait,
But it's hard
Theo.
to get.
Wait, Theo.
Go ahead.
I already know where you're going. First off, correct your tone and your delivery. See, I know if you talk to me like that, you talking crazy to your girl. I already know. Your tone and delivery is off. And then the words you use, assert. Take assert out of it and put, I offer this to her. Make it an offering, brother. See, I try to assert, and that's why she's resistant to what you got to say, because you might be a little too assertive. You're too assertive when you called in here talking to me. Right?
I wouldn't even call it that. It's like I feel like I've been in battles all day trying to just basically communicate. But what I've been getting is avoidance.
But listen, you can't force somebody to listen. You can't force somebody to participate. You can only have an open, honest, non-judgmental discussion with a willing participant. But your energy sounds like you owe me. Owe you what? Match my effort. You should show me your effort. That's what you sound like.
Or I use the word reassurance, and that's on me. I shouldn't have to get the reassurance from her. I should have the reassurance in myself. I know this.
Bro, my girl told me this. My girl told me this about a month ago. She said, you need reassurance. She taught me this lesson.
What's wrong with that, though, Zoe? What's wrong with that?
Sometimes, but listen, man, I've been there. Sometimes you be on the hamster wheel in your head. If she was really into me, she would do this. She would, and then she would respond this way. Listen, I've been there, man. I just got off the hamster wheel. I'm in top shape right now. Sometimes we got to get off the hamster wheel and be okay. Listen, this is gonna sound weird. Be okay in uncertainty.
Right.
And you came in with all the wrong verbiage. See, when I assert myself, you pushing her away. Right? You pushing her away. Well, I asserted myself and she ran. Now, I ain't talking to you. You want to fight. I don't want to fight, brother. I want to talk to you. You pushing her away. Right? And then the energy comes across as, show me, show me, show me. Prove to me, prove to me. No, brother, that's not the space to be in. And many of us find ourselves in that space, and it's okay. But we have to self-regulate when we recognize that we're in this grasping and thirsting kind of energy. Does that make sense?
Right.
Well, I love you, Theo. Call in anytime, brother. You brought Charleston, South Carolina in the building. We appreciate you, man. Heru Ali, Battle Creek. Get in here. Let's go to war.
Peace and love to all. Listen, fire show. Late, but I just have one rhetorical question. One way that I've reconceptualized my trauma or our trauma is, I call it my pet monster. I know you're familiar with my pet monster. So my rhetorical question to the listener, everybody that's listening, have you ever gotten so comfortable with your pet trauma monster that it became triggered and it mauled you? Because one of the ways that it's going to manifest is your pet monster is going to manifest in the person that you picked. Peace and love to the family of nations. My brother Heru Ali, we love you, brother. Battle Creek, Michigan will never be the same without Heru Ali. We appreciate. Listen, y'all know me. I like to start the discussion, right? I want us to get into a space where we start having these kinds of talks
not only just on the radio, but in our actual relationship. That's what I loved about the Krishnamurti quote. He was basically saying, who are you actually when you relate? He said relationship, the root of it means to respond. Now listen to this. You hear me say this, or you've heard me say this before. Ronald and Mary Holnick, who wrote a book called Loyalty to Your Soul, they said, it is not the issue that is your issue. It's how you respond to the issue that is your issue. Relationship means to respond. How do you show up? Who shows up first? Your fears, your ego, your anxiety, your self-doubt? Who shows up first? Listen, I just wanted to put something on your mind. Listen, my brother Danny Morrison is going to come in and keep the fire lit. I started the conversation. You finish it. Tomorrow is my Friday, so you know I'm going to come in with another slapper. I'll holla at you then. Deuces. Great show, family. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Appreciate all of you guys for supporting the book tonight. We got 6 copies sold. That's cool. I'm thankful. I'm grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And tomorrow we're going to end it strong with holding space. We're going to hold some space, all right? Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Deuces.